Was that me or you?
You.
Okay. Now
I
I got.
made the first snafu. I apologize. I'm
Oh,
so
hey.
sorry. Oh,
I'm trying to find out where. Oh, maybe there we go. Okay.
all right. Oh,
Yeah.
well, thank you so,
I,
so much for everything. I just want to gush over you a little
oh,
bit.
oh,
We
I'll
we
take
are
it.
recording. We are recording.
I don't
You
care.
have helped me so much. I can't even begin to tell you the kind of panic that I first felt
Hmm,
when my income just kind of
yeah.
slid from underneath me when COVID began. And I was terrified of, losing the house here. And by you giving me really solid, practical
Mhm.
guidance and following it, you gave me a path, and we're doing great.
It's nice to hear. And I mean, that's why I don't think there's anything more important for me to do for the rest of my life. Is just trying to
Oh,
do that. I mean, God, I mean, to hear something like that is, um, I don't have enough words or good enough words.
oh,
But to tell you the truth, what moved me more when you told me you cried or something when I said this, yeah. Oh man,
Mhm.
I think I'm a feelings junkie.
So am
And as a kid, I was a crybaby. And in the 50s as a guy, that wasn't cool.
right.
And as I got older, and particularly like later in the 50s or so, I said, boy, if I cry, I know something important's going on.
What a beautiful way of putting it.
Yeah, because how do you know?
Hmm.
Everything's so relative, and that's why I look, I cherish those moments. If to feel that something very important. I mean, life we're on remote control most of the time, and take out the garbage, do all the shit we got to do,
Yeah, yeah,
and and don't really feel the authenticity of what life has to offer. And it can be so cool, and you have to fight to get it every day. That's why
yeah, yeah.
I don't want to let it slip through my hands when
Well,
it's there.
it reads on the screen. You have so much passion, and so much love for what you do.
Mhm.
People can tell that
Right.
you care.
Well, I just started hearing that a few years back because I used to do, I don't know if you know my work early. I used to do a lot of infomercials and stuff like that.
Yeah, I remember purchasing your books
That's
several
it.
times for my father.
And that was nice, and people enjoyed it, and I did very well with it. But it was almost superficial to me.
Hmm.
Now I enjoy it so much more. You know, because of what you said, but I feel that. And um, I've been screwing around with this 10 years now, trying to figure out how to sell it again.
Hmm.
Just took a long time, and it's finally working. Uh, and that's what keeps me going. And I really I do it for different reasons. My kids are grown, and I don't need more crap.
Yeah.
So it's a little different thing. And I think the most selfish thing in life is getting up every day and having something you feel is important to do. Now you better
Mhm.
recording this because this is the best stuff we're going
I'm
to
so recording this. Yeah, I'm recording it on Zoom and also
I was
mental
just thinking
mid-rip
that,
work.
that uh,
Oh,
but uh, yeah, we all have these, the 7 steps to a successful whatever, and trying that goddamn checklist. And to me, it's like, well, when you want to make love, you don't make love by a checklist,
that's right. Right. Yeah.
And it's opening your heart and taking the moment, and I always felt professional life is the same as personal life. In other words, for you to uh, help a client or customer or something like that, it's it's not really what they tell you they need. It's like a lover telling you what
It's
he,
what you feel. Mhm.
yeah, you got to feel that.
Yeah,
And then plus, I feel that none of us have language good enough to explain what we need
that's so true.
or to understand what the hell we need.
Exactly.
If somebody else says it, when you say love, I think of something else or whatever.
Exactly.
There's all, I mean, you can't, so you gotta feel it. I have an expression I use. My wife once a while ago. We're all different people. You have a husband, I think, and stuff,
Yeah.
and so we're all different animals. And when I talk about some stuff, I get what I call the ugly baby look. It is when your friend has a baby, comes up and shows you the baby, but it's ugly.
Okay. You want to be polite, but
Right, exactly.
feelings are showing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
trying to find something that it's not a nice
yeah,
forehead or, but they really don't connect. And that's with a lot of people, I think we have, and maybe that's why we're closed-minded. But as I get older, it doesn't bother me as much, and uh, because if you're not open, then you can't get the open stuff.
yeah. That's really true.
Yeah,
That's really true.
and that's so rare. So why? Yeah, just yeah. I remember my older boy in the beginning in college, and he was trying to date this woman and do everything. He said, "Well, I'm just going to hurt you," or something like that at the end, or something. I don't know. People
Right.
that age, what they think of. And he said, well, "I want to be hurt."
I want to. He said, I
In
want
other words,
to.
because that's the game. If you're not willing to be hurt, then
Yeah,
you can't expose yourself, and
that's really true.
yeah.
That's
So you
really,
have to want to be. So what do you really want to talk about?
I I'm so grateful because you have no idea what you empowering me
Yeah.
to use this and to facilitate this amazing resource of
Mm.
abundance.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, I did.
I just got notification that I got another $500 grant.
Really?
Yeah.
For what?
So that's $2,550 away. Like, I'm not going to stop.
Yeah. I mean, it I mean, I didn't know anything about this. I mean, where'd you grow up? Are you from New York or where are you?
I'm a Manhattanite.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, you are? You grew up in Manhattan. I say,
Mhm,
oh, wow.
mhm.
You're the one. No, actually, there's a lot of Manhattan. Not like Washington, D.C. No one's from Washington, D.C.
Right, right.
Uh, but yeah, I mean, I used to go up and doing this business. I got an MBA in computer
Wait,
science.
Matthew, for some reason,
Yeah,
I'm getting the chat screen and I don't know how to minimize it.
I don't see it.
You don't see it? Okay, good.
Okay.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right.
Uh, but Manhattan was always a very exciting place to me. I remember getting off the train or the bus or whatever, your heart just goes boom, 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 boom. That
Yeah.
was very exciting.
Yeah.
But it's either, I always felt in being younger that, boy, you have to be real rich or real poor to really enjoy Manhattan.
Yeah. Wait a minute now. Where did the insight come from that you could also be poor? Tell
I
me
don't
more
know, I
about
just
that.
felt that, you see there's so much stuff and cool stuff to do or whatever, or maybe they have good social programs, or I don't know
Okay,
why. Yeah.
okay. Yeah,
Being a sophisticated city,
yeah.
uh, but I just appreciate what you say so much. I mean, um, it's hard to ask those kinds of things, or people don't share that kind of stuff, whatever. And particularly now, that is um, fuel for me like nothing else.
Wow.
Yeah,
I'm
it,
glad.
it is. And one is because number one, it has, I feel it from you. I mean, I just, since day one, I felt it from you. And that's why, I mean, I'll give you anything you want.
Oh,
Because I just wanted give back the feeling that you're giving me, and I guess maybe what I'm saying is that the way you say somehow I empowered you, uh, that you are empowering me with those words. You are wrapping a warm blanket around me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just sending it out
Yeah.
there.
To feel
I mean,
the warmth and comfort to go on, because I want to do a lot more shit yet. And just again, I mean, I don't know how long I live, but it doesn't matter. I mean, just I got lots of things I want to do, and I think if your work doesn't, having your work give that kind of feeling back to you. I mean, that's a lover. I mean, that gives you strength. That, because I feel we're all, if you have a mission in life, you're a warrior, and you have to go out and do that every fucking day, and whatever it is, and you need, at least I do, maybe it's a man thing or whatever. Maybe that's, I always say, maybe I always got married in the beginning. I was starting businesses failed, but I was always married.
Yeah.
And because you get beat up by life so much, no matter what you do. And that's the name of the game out there.
It is.
And to feel that warmth and acceptance. And see, by you telling me that stuff, that's what that does. I mean, it's embarrassing for me to show my appreciation for that, because the nuns and my parents and things like that told me not to do those kinds of things, but it's food, it's fuel, it's warmth in the heart that allows you to go out and get beat up again.
Yeah. I initially started my business, The Juicy Woman, as a nonprofit. And then when I realized that just wasn't sustainable or feasible, I put it on the back shelf and I said, okay, I'm not going to do that. But I ended up giving away a lot of my services for free, going to schools, Dress for Success, that type of thing, doing presentations. Then someone said to me, you need to get grants. And then someone said, yeah, you need to get a grant writer. And then you turned everything around when I learned from you that, no, you don't necessarily need to get a grant writer.
To me, I always say it's like getting a prom dress before you're invited to the prom.
Yes.
Yeah. The important thing is to get an invite to the prom. Getting a grant.
That's right. Yeah.
Buying a dress is easy.
That's right.
If you really need them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what you've taught me, with what you've taught me, I intend to teach that to more women.
Wonderful. Yeah.
And because I went through the system, I, was on welfare, and I realized how hard it is to pull yourself up from that, little bit that you're given. And I was at my highest point earning last year, and then COVID hit and everything went back to the way it used to be. And I panicked. And you came out of nowhere, this amazing angel offering solutions. And I followed up and I went for it. At first, before you did the video saying you have to make the phone calls, I was doing, the least amount that I could do. Just going online, checking to see, are there any grants? No, there's no grants. One website after another. But then you made that video that said, you have to get on the phone. And I said, yeah, I know that's true. I've been avoiding it. It was the pride and the feeling of, no, I don't really want to say, I need this, please help me. But man, once you can get that out of the way and realize that that's the way you connect to people, the world is your oyster.
Well, listen, in this education, use me any way you want. I mean, I guess it's not, want me to Zoom with some people or something, if that will help. Any way you want to do it. If you're educating people about improving their lives, I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
I'll help you. I'm not going to charge anything. I don't want money or
Thank
anything.
you.
I, uh, uh, I, I owe you so much because of the wonderful things you say to me. We don't.
They're
People
so
take the
true.
time. What?
They're so true.
Yeah. And the first letter you sent or whatever. Um, I mean, people. But see, to me, what's so different and special is that people usually get a kick out of me because of my antics
Hmm.
or
Hmm.
whatever,
Hmm.
and things like that. But actually taking this and following through, now that's more meaningful to me than
Yeah.
anything else. And I will be here for you whenever you want me.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, and anyone who says at the see, because I want to cry every day.
Yeah.
I want that day to be so special,
Yeah.
you know, and that I could cry. Um, and you said you cried that I because I was gonna talk to you or something.
Oh, are you kidding? I mean, you're a rock star.
I but
Yeah.
I
Seriously, what you have done, you have pulled me out of the depths of feeling
yeah.
victimized by
Well, so
circumstance.
many people are like that nowadays.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's so
yeah.
hard to get out of
I
it,
know,
Matthew.
I know it is. It's all addictive. It's all
It's so
uh,
hard.
rabbit hole stuff or something. It's hard. Uh, um, and a lot of because now, I mean, see, I see half the country is just terrible in shape,
Yeah. Yeah.
and the other half is doing well because they had jobs that didn't affect it. Yeah.
Right.
But the people making like 60 grand or less are all screwed.
Yeah.
Uh, and and that's why the least is, and that's why to me you is that at least to give hope. I think um, sources and hope. I mean, I know nothing I do can guarantee anybody anything. And that's not it's in them. But how do you make them feel comfortable? Like you had to be comfortable enough to do it, I guess.
Yeah. It,
Um,
it takes it takes enormous amounts of
yeah.
organization. I never ever imagined
Uh-huh.
doing this, copying every pay stub,
Right.
every PayPal deposit for 2 years,
Wow. Yeah.
and wow, putting everything under such like anal organization,
They're
telling people
bureaucracy.
exactly what they're going to be looking at, least page 1 of 12. Da, 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 da.
Yeah, I mean, I see it as using the system. I mean, I can never work. I'd worked for somebody for 6 months. Oh, I can't stand this. It was jail. Had to leave and start another business and fail and get a job for 6 months. Jail again, starting a business, fail.
Mhm, mhm.
And I just wanted to keep out of jail. Um, but it's a system. To me, it's using the system. And they say to me, it's the same as customers. For 10 years, I've been trying to figure out, well, I know this stuff is good. I've proven that, but how do people buy it?
Yeah,
How do people want to buy it? How do people, again, it's like a love relationship. Well, they're nice and everything, but it's so complicated. We don't know, and there's no words for it.
that's right.
And I think it's like learning to walk. You just have to fall on your ass 100 times.
That's the way. You
There's
have to risk looking like an idiot. That's it. You do.
no shortcut.
Whether it's a phone call or just,
Right.
screwing
Oh,
up
I remember
whatever
the
it is.
beginning of my work because we didn't have computers back in the 70s when I was young. So I
Oh,
used to make
wow.
cold calls to people, try to sell them research that I was doing. And I would sit there and say, "Oh God, I don't want to do this. You know, I just want to find an easier way." And I
Wow.
used to talk to myself. Now, what's the worst that could happen if I called this
They
person?
could hang up, but that's not
Exactly.
the worst.
And I'd
Yeah.
say, "Well, what are they? Their hands going to come through the phone and grab me and kill me by the neck or something? You know, nothing." Yeah. And to motivate myself,
Right.
the problem I always worked at home is that then you have the refrigerator, you have a television. There's 50 things that you would rather do than make that call. Yeah. And it takes hundreds of those to make it. Yeah.
How did you make the move up from doing the cold calls to
So
to doing what at the cold call stage? Were you did you brand yourself with the
this
jacket
is back in the
question
70s. There was no such branding was only in the Western movies.
mark? Yeah, yeah.
But it was, I got an MBA in computers and I was designing management information systems. So that's what I
Uh-huh.
do. Show, and this was right after the oil embargo. And you're not old enough to know all this stuff.
Oh yeah, I remember. I remember. 'Cause my father owned buildings in my
Oh, I see. Wow.
yeah.
And that was the first time, you know, like in the 60s and stuff, everybody didn't have to worry about outside of their organization. Everything
Right.
was inside. And so I saw this happening, and my degree was in computers, and I taught computer science. That's before piece. I was taking one class in university and teaching it, same class I was taking at another university. Nobody was in it. You're in something at the beginning. Yeah.
Wow.
All you have to do is to keep the class a week behind you
Yes.
because there was nobody to teach. And
Oh my gosh.
so
Yeah.
I wanted to do that. And nobody knew what I was talking about. I was designing what I call the external management information system. So top management could know what's going on in legislation, markets, competitors, technology.
Wow. Okay.
Like a clipping
Big
service,
brother is
right?
watching you.
Exactly. But what they should worry about? They never worry about those things. They'd only worry about accounting, manufacturing,
Mhm.
and they weren't tuned into that. But now then I saw this about why young people are important, I feel, because they see the impact that something has.
Yes.
Then I had nothing. So I said, holy shit, this country out halfway across the world we didn't even never heard of brought us to our knees.
Yes.
Yeah. And we got to watch for this, if you're running an organization. So I would try, and that's why I go to New York and just bang on doors. Companies, to try to. Nobody knew what I was saying because I didn't know what I was saying really either. Then I got to the point where I said, "Oh, I do research," and what they were
Yeah.
wanting at the time was market research. Oh, they wanted to know about competitors. They wanted to know, hey, we want to sell barbecue utensils and stuff
Uh-huh.
like that. I didn't know anything about any of these things, but I was sitting in Washington. And I would run around to libraries. I mean, this town has wonderful libraries
I
before the
love
internet
libraries. Oh
existed.
my gosh.
And so I'd go to libraries, and then the libraries would tell me, "Oh, you wonder about barbecue utensils? Hey, there's a guy over here." Say I'd be at the library, the Department of Commerce. They'd tell me about the expert in barbecue utensils at the library.
Oh my gosh. I love it. I love it.
So I'd go down and talk to this bureaucrat who hasn't had a visitor in 20 years and been studying barbecue utensils for the last 20 years.
Oh wow.
His wife is sick of hearing about it.
Yes, yes.
You come in and talk to him about, man, you can't get out of the office. Yeah.
Oh my God.
And somebody really cares about what they say. So I would take all the stuff he gave me and thank him on the cover and put my name on it and give it to me.
We're talking plagiarism.
Exactly. See,
So
but
how did you float by that?
Government. You can't plagiarize the government because it's
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So plagiarism, yes. Copyright. Plagiarism is not illegal.
Okay.
Right.
No, I didn't know.
Copyright infringement is.
Okay.
So nothing in the government. No, my first New York Times bestseller was a book I literally cut and pasted from the government printing.
Oh my God.
I flunked English in college. I'm not literal or
This is
literary or
amazing.
whatever. Yeah, just literally cut and pasted it, and I worked on the titles. There were like 1,200 programs the government had, and they had this big book. It was called the Catalog of Federal Domestic Assistance, and that's the thing they'd come out every year with all these programs. And I looked at, holy shit, man! And
Actually, I got that. That was one of the books I got
yeah,
from my father.
yeah, see, they still do it. Came out in 1965 originally. Yeah, and they still do it now. It's online. Yeah, and I took that book, cut and pasted it because it was like 13,000 pages, and just put the headline and wrote the headlines. Because one of my favorite stories, they had something called the Urban Homesteading Act. But when you read that, it's the house for $1. So I would put the headline, house for $1.
I remember watching the infomercials.
Yeah, see, and that's the problem. It makes the government so untouchable, and that's what I still do now is try. I found one of my favorite things yesterday. The government now gives grants. You can get you got $2,250 for rent, utilities, and internet access if you're a stripper or a sex worker.
Okay, I don't qualify. Oh, wait a minute. I started yesterday. I had to run out, but you were promoting a 5 o'clock call where you talk about Biden's new package. Right. Did I miss it?
No, I did do it at 5 o'clock, but I changed the title.
Oh, to the sex worker one?
Right, I couldn't.
Okay, then I will watch it.
I couldn't let that go by. I just found it like an hour before I went on the air.
Okay.
And that was, there's, I mean, there's so many problems to solve. And I think that we all have to solve them our own way.
Yeah.
And use what's good for us to do. And because there's different ways of doing everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
And even like when I started wearing question mark suit, I was thrown off the air. They wouldn't let me.
I would imagine a couple people wouldn't feel comfortable. Yeah.
And then it took years ago, and then I had to wear the suit, and I wear them every day, so I don't care.
Wow.
And it's fun. Boy, I can't believe. I mean, I'm 77 now, and I think that I don't feel any different than 35. That's why I'm glad about the knowledge I see. You build on things that are good, and that's bad because you don't see the new opportunities. And if you've had success, that's really, I feel, a hazard, because a handicap, you're trying to make that work again because you figure out how to do it. Yeah. And that's why I think it's wiser hanging around young people. Don't have success yet.
Yeah.
But they'll see better opportunities.
What would you say to somebody who would say that you're teaching people how to milk the system? Because that's initially what I thought until I actually started watching the video.
I get that a lot.
I mean, we pay into the system. Absolutely. This is our right that no one tells us about.
I used to be very defensive, not anymore. There are a couple, and I knew this immediately. The way I learned about this is all the rich people hired me for thousands of dollars to find this stuff. Yeah,
that blows my mind.
Yeah, I mean, I'd get $10,000 for what I get $20 for now, because they could make a lot of stuff. And so the hypocrisy, it doesn't bother me. Actually, a couple of years ago, maybe 10, 15 years ago, there was a New York consumer person who I helped. He was trying to get rid of somebody doing commercials sort of in my era, but they were really ripping people off. So they wanted to go out and get them. There was the consumer people in New York State. So I was helping them, learn the system and all this kind of stuff and all this stuff. I helped them for months and months and months. It came out the report, and the headline of the report is "Lesko lies." That was.
He stabbed you in the back.
Yeah, and It was great though. I mean, I learned more than that
Wait
anything.
a minute. Wait.
Yeah, no, it hurt like hell, but it
Oh,
did.
yeah.
You
Okay.
learn that the bad times are the only growth area. I mean, you
Yeah.
see what
Yeah.
happened to you. You learned how to use the phone, right? You really had to. Nothing else left. And so it was the same as that. And they were after, I mean, and then in paragraph 3, say, oh, he's not under investigation, nothing. These people over here are under investigation. But they used my name because I was all over on the TV at the time. And they just used it, to get press release and press attention. But that taught me how much I knew, because these guys didn't know anything, and then and my argument, then I was trying to get media. You beat me up, but that means I could get media too.
That's right. Is that
And
when you decided to go on YouTube?
and that was before YouTube. And so it's been more than a while ago. And then what I would do, I'd frame it like, oh, I don't care what you call me. And that's how I always did my work. It's not me, it's the work.
Yes.
So by saying that I'm lying, I could be out of business, doesn't matter. What you're doing is stopping someone who needs that.
Yes.
And has to know about that. That's what you're doing. Yeah. By saying that. It doesn't matter what you do to me. And that's also what made me, like, for the first 5 years on television or more, my parents did not admit I was their kid.
Oh.
Because I enjoy acting goofy. And I saw that, hey, that got me on the show. They didn't care what I said. It was all how I said it. So I was a professional guest for, I don't know, 10 years, something.
Wow.
And I was telling somebody a story the other day about Letterman. Oh, I know. Christopher Walken came up somewhere. And I loved his work. I thought he was great.
He's amazing.
Exactly. So Letterman used to use me when somebody canceled. Larry King used to do that. They know they could get me anywhere. You're going to be 7 minutes of free airtime, and I'm there.
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right. So Larry called me up. I was in Chicago going media, got me on a plane, got there, a couple hours and do it. And I get on, who am I subbing for? And it was for Christopher Walken, stiffed them. But they stiffed them because it was Natalie Wood died that day.
Okay.
And I think he was on the boat or something like that. Wow. Yeah. Then another way people would use, Larry King would use me, that he had an hour TV show and they'd have 2 guests usually, first hour and second hour. So they say, let's go. Why don't you come down, sit in the green room? We may use you, we may not. They have some big star on for a half hour. And at the end, hey, can you stay another half hour?
Oh, interesting. That explains why now and then there's an author that comes on these shows.
Right. So if they say no, and most of the time they said yes, but then they owed me.
Right.
So I was in town, yeah. So that's why I consider myself a professional guest. And I couldn't believe it, man. I'd sit in Letterman and act goofy and stop after 3 minutes, and somebody would pay, $100,000 for a minute TV commercial. And I'd get 7 minutes free just because I act goofy. And I would work on those interviews as much as the book. I'd write a book for a year, then I'd spend about a month figuring out what I was going to say for a 1 minute interview, a 3 minute interview, and a 5. After that, it doesn't matter, because you have so much time, it all come out. But to have, like you do the Today Show, that's 2 minutes or something like that. Yeah. And no matter what Jane Pauley asked me, here's what I'm going to say.
You're a marketing genius.
Yeah, and because it's sort of like, it was an ad to me. So, so, and I found another way, and I see politicians do this, is that if someone says something bad about you or your work, you just say yes.
What?
Yeah. Isn't it hard to get a grant? Yes. But did you know you can get $10,000 for a...
Okay.
And, nobody remembers.
That's right. Distraction.
They don't care. That's another thing took me along, that the interviewers don't care. They just care how they look. Yeah. So they don't care what you say.
Yeah.
Maybe things are different. That's why, like now, I couldn't act this part of me. I couldn't waste the time.
I think collectively we've kind of all come into a place where everybody cares a whole lot more
Yeah,
because this has shaken all of us
yeah.
to different degrees. I mean,
Well, yes,
we're all in the same ocean, but
yeah.
different boats.
That's what I'm curious if that will make people kinder. Um,
At least temporarily.
yeah, if we get caught up, and that's why,
Yeah.
to me, the president who's leaving, he was sort of like the epitome almost of what we all aspired to. At least a guy or whatever in that era. I mean, I relate to everything. And he even used the media like me. You act like an idiot, you get a lot of free idiotism.
Yeah.
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 And
And also, I found it very interesting that you said that no matter who is president, the government is the
no,
same. The
no.
programs are the same. I couldn't believe that.
I remember when Reagan came here. Oh, Lesko, you're going to be out of business.
Wow.
This thing grows every single year, no matter who's in town. Yeah.
And at first, I know you said that quid pro quo is not, the way to go. It just felt right to me. So the charity that gave me the grant, I said,
Oh,
please, if there's anything I could do for you, let me know. I'll do your social media, whatever, I'll do your website, whatever you want. So that was mind blowing to me. It's a whole other perspective.
and see, to me, with being in Washington, everybody's in town. It's full of millionaires who want to be billionaires.
Mhm.
And that's what so much of it is. And that's what I've seen. It's sort of like, and that's why I see big government programs do that. Student loans, I mean, then the crafty people figure out how to do that. And they start their private college universities, and they become billionaires because hey, you could get this money to come to my college that won't mean anything, and I get all the money and you have to pay it back.
Cannot believe it.
SBA is like that.
I look at your videos. You are with me every single day, several times a day. I look at your videos and I just think, oh my gosh, I've never been one to aspire to money. I come from a fairly wealthy family, and then
Oh,
stepping into the family business, yeah,
yeah.
that was not a good thing. So I ended up with nothing after running 3 buildings for 18 years. And so what I've been feeling for so long is the losses and feeling so regretful about not being someone more money oriented. But what you have helped me to realize is that it's not about the money, it's about the freedom. So, like, you're showing me where I could get my car repaired at low cost or even no cost, or where I could, get some help with rent or loans or anything. It's just unbelievable. Like you said, don't ask for money, don't ask for
Right.
grants, ask for assistance. Because the same people that I started asking for help back in August, I think I keep going back to as sources for the next thing.
Uh-huh.
Because building relationships, that's
Yeah.
where it's at.
Yeah. I
They're
think
so caring, they're so kind.
yeah. And to me, I think the trap we fall into is like getting all that wealth or something, and then we're smart people, so we start changing the rules on what is ethical or whatever to get there.
No, that'd be my father, not me.
But I mean, that's it's human nature in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah, in all of us, and that's why to me that and that's trying to get there that you may not get anyway. And so to me, that's why, boy, how do you live every day, being, feeling great every day, even though you're not a millionaire, that's going to go, and then you want to be 2 million or whatever, that, doing something. That's why I feel so grateful for that. I have something that I just want to give up, do this every day, no matter what the hell I do. Yeah. And it's like, if you love playing a sport, I used to be a golfer, I do anything to play that. And then I remember thinking, well, I would play golf in the rain, the sleet, the snow, or whatever. Avid golfers are that way. But I go to work, and working for somebody, I want to make sure my desk is better. I want to make sure this is perfect.
Right.
Why shouldn't it be the other? Or when I work for somebody else and I had to go travel somewhere, I want to go first class, I want to stay in a big hotel. When I go now myself, no, I'll go on a fucking camel. I don't care. I just want to get there and do the work.
Yeah.
So your family's from Manhattan also? Oh, so and you're a developer, so you run in Trump circles?
Oh, please. No, I stepped in to help run my father's business, and he got greedy and he took everything, left me with nothing.
Wow.
8 figures.
Wow.
And so I've been down for a long time. Like I said, last year was the first time after so many years of picking myself up, and then COVID hit, and then bam, all of a sudden we're worried about not being able to make rent. And I was so depressed. 4 months went by before I was able to really like wake up and say, 4 months in arrears. Oh my God, we're going to die. So.
Is he still alive?
I think so. He said he wanted nothing to do with me.
Wow. How about mom?
Mom is okay, but she has Alzheimer's and she just broke her hip several months ago.
But she's in town?
No, she's in Florida.
Oh.
The goal is to move to Florida.
I understand. That's my mode. That's another thing to me. Why do we have this goal of, I'm sure men in my generation, it is to retire in Florida and play golf. And first of all, that means retiring to do something you're shitty at, because an old man playing golf certainly isn't good at it.
Yeah.
So why would you want to live to do something for the rest of your life that you're lousy at? Now,
well, I take myself wherever I go. So I'll be writing, I'll be coaching, I'll be.
See what I mean? Right. Exactly.
Until the day I die.
Boy, I'm gonna,
you are my inspiration.
All right. My head fall in the soup, I see someday. And why not? We're here to contribute, to give. And that, to me, that keeps me younger. And I just came back from 7 miles. And I still loved, I couldn't do it for about a month or so. I only walk at this time. I used to run them, but up until about a year ago, I was running them. And it's not, my muscles and everything are okay. It's just that my balance, as you get older, I can't react fast enough. I trip easier and everything. So I can't even run long periods. And I'm in traffic and all that kind of. But walking's great. I enjoy it. And it's nice. So are you looking for like people with coaches? Let's talk about that a little. Maybe I could bring.
Wow. Yes.
You said about you want to do something with Address for Success. Yeah, I've known all those people a long time.
Yeah, it was very surprising to me that they sent me an email saying, no, we wouldn't support that idea. And I said, but I'll get the funding.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, see, to me, I think you may want to consider, I may mention this to you, how Google, you can get $10,000 a month marketing money from Google.
I know. I saw that video.
Yeah, as a nonprofit.
Right.
And that, see, to me, what I like about crowdfunding, and particularly on for something like you're doing, something for the community, I think crowdfunding is so great. Uh, you don't have to win. It's really you don't have to. It's if you do a crowdfunding, okay, you have Dress for Success, okay. Uh, Now you go out and try to get people write it up or whatever, things like that, or whatever.
Right.
Well, okay. I mean, your edge is that it's Dress for Success, and they're in the community, and media looking for that. But now, just think, you're going to have a funder. Dress for Success is going to have a funder to uh, um, dress up after COVID, get a job after COVID. So you got for 100 women to get brand new outfits.
Yeah.
Go look for a new job. Okay.
Right.
100 after COVID or something, say like that.
Right.
Whatever. And you do it as a campaign. See, to get it from the viewpoint, to me, for the Dress for Success people, they want people to know about them. That's how they get donations if they're nonprofit and stuff like that. So that's why, even if this fails, they have an excuse to get media so people could know to give them next year.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, but I think maybe I would do better by going to the New York Dress for Success instead of the local one.
Oh, I don't care. Whatever.
Yeah, but I think that they would have
New York, New York State or what?
New York State. Yeah.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are they all over the state?
Oh, yes.
I see. So they have like well, that's why you could do it.
I think they're global too.
Oh, I see. Well, you could do it for them. They may be more interested because that's probably all they do is try to fund it.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah. So you could package that to do in every community.
Okay.
In other words, see, this is, so you go to the headquarter people, hey, this is now a crowdfunding campaign that all your people could run. See, the thing with crowdfunding too is you have to have a list. See, and most of these nonprofits have lists.
Right.
They're always fundraising. So, instead of the Christmas letter, the whatever, they have a new thing.
Yes.
See, to go out and ask for money for it. Okay. There was a woman I interviewed. She was terrific in Detroit. She was an art student, downtown Detroit. Her mom was on welfare and everything, but she had a scholarship at this art school and walked to art school and saw these homeless people all the day. And they're sleeping out in the winter. I said, what they need is a coat that they could use as a sleeping bag.
Yes.
Yeah. So what she started is a little business, and she has homeless people make the coats. She does fundraising by crowdfunding.
Right.
By the local shelter has the crowdfunding campaign to buy 500 coats from her.
Okay.
Okay. And so she helps them do that campaign so they could buy 500 coats for whatever. And then she has a little factory like downtown Detroit of homeless people who learned how to make these things. Yeah. There's just, that's what I like about crowdfunding. See, to me, it's, if you don't have advertising money, I don't believe in advertising. Unless you really know what sells. And most of the time you don't. You start something.
Right.
So how do you use the media to get some noise and to find that out more? And that's why, to me, crowdfunding is a way to do that. And it's also a way to ask for money.
Yeah.
See, instead of, hey, will you buy this? Oh, hey, we're gonna have this. Right. So you're going to send money or not? And instead of going out and asking people, hey, would you buy this? If I did it, who cares? Is what they say. They're probably lying anyway. Yeah. But if you have it and people buy that way now, can you imagine going to Macy's and giving them $100 for a sweater you'll pick up next year? Yeah.
That doesn't happen.
Exactly. But they do that in crowdfunding.
That's right.
So you don't have to have any product. You just have the idea. And then plus, if you're able to get media attention, you don't have to even be successful because you're really getting, you just want the ink. Yeah. And that's why if you're helping nonprofits, that may be, and so if it's going to be, if it's women's groups or whatever, I mean, that's a big thing. And see what's now. I mean, I just heard listening to Bloomberg, and they had the three financial people, the head of our Fed, that nice lady in France who's the head of the European, and another, I think the one from Germany.
Okay, not
Yeah.
familiar with her.
And who's really hurting the most in this COVID stuff is women.
Oh yeah.
Because, okay, we got to go back to work now, but the kids aren't going anywhere. They can't go. So they're really getting stuck to it again. Just women are carrying the load for everything. Everything, the incarcerated people, the elderly, the kid. I mean, and we call ourselves a family-friendly country. This is
Yeah, not really.
You could write off more raising horses than you can raising children. Yeah, yeah. So it to me, they're probably. I mean, no matter how. I mean, see, to me, even the New York one, it depends on. I mean, that sounds good because it's something you can model.
Mm-hmm,
Whatever. And also, if you're going to raise money and show them how to get marketing money, you don't need money up front. You just live off what they get, and nobody has to worry about anything, right?
Yes.
And that fundraisers do that. These big direct marketing fundraising people. They have these direct response stuff where they live on a percentage. So I'm sure nonprofits are all.
No, maybe I think this might be for the longer plan, the 3 to 5 year plan instead of right now. I think right now it's about building my business and thanks to you, I'm working with an SBDC rep. So
How do you want to build it? Who do you want to do it to?
I want to coach women. I want to work with women and help them out of depression because I've been there. I know.
Right, exactly. Well, okay. I think, I saw some of your videos. So you're good on the air and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, I love being in front of a camera.
Exactly. Yeah. That's the only place I could tell the truth.
My heart just opens up because I feel that she's there with me.
Well, how do you frame it more? Women in depression, I think you got to have something. See, if I just say free money, to me, the hook in me is government money because people know whatever. So that's what. Now, women in depression, that's right. See, COVID, if that's, how do you take them, like you trying to get media for women in depression, they have doctor, everybody doing that, right? But if you had, and maybe I'm just thinking, women in depression in the restaurant business, say, they're the people. How do you frame it so that I would do books. I would do books like, and I could do a book on anything. My thing was, I can't think of the title.
Right.
Yeah, because that's what sells. How do you point to hey, this is for you? Like I did, but 1,001 freebies from the government.
Right.
Didn't do it. At other free stuff for seniors. Wow. Same book.
Yeah.
So that's right. How do you frame it so it's particularly if you're going to use the media, it has to be relevant to you trying to get something out. Depression of women. Yeah, I'll show you 3x1. So how do you? That's right. What are the news of the day that you could grab onto? That's why I think if it's Washington, if it's New York, is big restaurants, right? You have the Restaurant Association. Why don't you call the Restaurant Association and say you'll give a free talk for women who can't got jobs back and how to deal with depression when you can't get a restaurant job back.
Oh, I
Okay.
didn't even think about soliciting and looking for presentations.
Yeah, see, that's marketing, right? See, somebody will want to do something. Now, another thing may work for you. What I did a lot in the beginning, I don't do it anymore, clarifying.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the thing is, when you do that, you have to have something that people could buy. So, I mean, you give them everything for free.
Yeah.
I mean, you give it for free because everybody's
Well, I
worried.
did everything backwards. In 2006, 7, I had created a coaching program.
Mhm.
And then after having a successful coaching program, I thought, well, no, I'm not really successful because I haven't created a book.
I
Then it
see.
took me 6 years. Now I
I
have my book, but I haven't marketed the book.
see.
So,
Well, well, now you have a book. Okay, well, that's good because you have
an
another.
online course.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, you have all that. Great.
yeah.
So you go out. So they have something to buy, the book and the
Oh,
course.
yeah. Oh,
Okay. So
yeah.
you have something to sell. So now you have to educate, but it has to be in a framed so you can get free publicity
Yeah,
that people be interested in. Yeah. So just not depression in women is,
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Uh,
at that time, I was spending some time doing some speaking in the plus model community.
in the
And
what? That,
the plus model community. So being a plus size woman, the book,
right, right.
loving the skin you're in.
Ah, wonderful. Yeah. Oh, wonderful. Wow, is that your book?
That's my book.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah.
So I thought that that was great, being a plus model, being a plus size woman, talking about loving the skin you're in. But then I realized it's deeper than that. It's
Yeah.
about self esteem. It's
Right.
about not just loving your body, it's about loving who you are, accepting your past, forgiving your past. So that's why I want to go deeper.
Well, as you say that, I think about the conversation you had with me, or you said to me, see how that, but see, I think that's true, but how do you get there? And I think it's by doing something.
Yes.
It's not like great climbing, or being getting an approval thing for everything.
Right.
It's you making some kind of contribution that you,
Definitely.
yeah.
Definitely.
So, yeah, and see, women groups, but just to go to a women's group, I talk about depression. That doesn't sound, but maybe plus
No.
size women group, maybe you got something there, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
But now with COVID, that's a hotter topic, I would think.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Dress for Success reached out to me and they said, hey, can you do a stress relief seminar
Mhm.
for us in January? And I said, yeah, sure. So I thought, oh, maybe, okay, I'm coming back into Dress for Success. Great.
Well, see, that's what I would just get more of those, or maybe do uh, what made money for me is the closed Facebook group.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I had all kinds of clubs and everything. Nothing works like that.
Did it start out as a free group? Because I've had a free group for, I want to say, 4 years or so.
Mine,
And
yours, me. Oh,
no,
you have a group. I mean,
yeah, I do. I have several groups.
yeah. Uh,
I don't know how to engage discussion. I've
yeah.
done Facebook Lives and they like that, but then they just peter off and they stop connecting. So I
Yeah.
don't know what it is that I'm
I
doing
think it's
wrong.
new stuff. Um, it is, um, well, what's live. See, people buy and what's live. I would use the live stuff now just as a vehicle if you want to join the special thing.
Oh,
See, so you have people, whatever. Hey, yeah, I always want to. So, I mean, that's what I do. Hey, I mean, I'll answer your questions if I can on YouTube. But I have to do the paying customers first.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah, and yeah, and so it's just that to see if people put out the money. So if people put out the money, then you could keep doing that until you figure out what's exciting for them to stay.
Right.
I have people contribute. I mean, one is contributing so much I can't keep up with the goddamn thing.
I know. It is
Yeah.
so
And
much.
edit, yeah. But if that keeps people paying more $20 a month, yeah. And when I first started looking at that, everybody said, no, I have to charge $300, $500.
Right.
And I don't want to be that guy. I want to be
No.
the $20 guy. And I'm doing very well with this.
Yep.
Yeah. And I'm so happy that stuck with my heart and not
What
the
was the
experts.
transition point? How did you go from the free group to the pay group? Was it the teaser videos that
No,
you offer, you have such a proliferation of content.
yeah.
I can't imagine that
Actually, the
there's
content
anything that you don't
exploded
have on YouTube.
like in about 6 months or so. This, during COVID, right before, actually before about January last year, it started. Not yeah, probably December, January, it started exploding somehow. I mean, and
But
so,
also you've gone to daily uploads too.
yeah,
That's big.
yeah, I've always done that though. I mean, you look at my YouTube. I mean, I've always had almost maybe a couple a week, and then, yeah, and it's how.
Matthew, I just realized something. You don't have your channel monetized, do you?
Yes.
I never see any ads on your channel.
Well, they're Facebook ads. Facebook ads are there, and that started paying off. It was only a couple $100. It wasn't much for a real long time.
Okay.
Doesn't matter. I don't know how that runs, and I think, and that's why I'm against the robots.
Yeah.
Because then you have no control over robots.
Yeah.
They have control over you.
That's right.
With Facebook advertising, try that for a while. I still do it now because I found some guys in India that do that pretty well for me and cheap and trying. Everybody wants to charge you $20,000. That it's stupid when you don't know. You go out first and find out what people are really buying and why and what.
Yes.
And then you spend money on advertising if it's enough. But yeah, you could just call it another thing, whatever.
Okay.
I mean, I would just say this is, and the problem with the paid pay, you have to have another pay source to do it. You know what I mean?
Is that why some people are going to Patreon?
Oh, that's another thing. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah. Yeah. Are people using like regular stuff? Yeah, that may be interesting. Yeah, because they could pay monthly then, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a good idea. But it seems that that may be big now. Put it both places.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I feel I'm so close.
Yeah.
I'm so close, and having the relief of not worrying about the rent and freaking out about that gives me the ability to really focus in and keep going and doing and testing, experimenting, and
I just try. Nobody knows. Everything's a guess.
Yeah. So close.
Oh, wonderful.
Thank you.
It's been nice, and thanks for taking the time.
Amazing.
And your wonderful words. I'll put them in the drawer when I get lonely. I'll make. Thank you again, and I'll be here anytime you need some. Okay?
Thank you so much. Okay, have a wonderful day.
Take care.
Bye.